We are still a long way from training camp, preseason. Mandatory minicamp doesn't begin until next week. But let's do an early Minnesota Vikings 53-man roster projection. Me projecting what the Vikings would do later this summer. 25 on offense, 25 on defense, 3 on special teams. Now, have it written down right here, so that's why if you see me looking down, I'm looking down at what I have right here. Now, I will say the 3 special teams players probably be Will Reichert, Ryan Wright, Andrew DePaula, unless Wright loses a punting battle or something. But let's get into it. At the quarterback position, last year the Vikings kept 3. I believe they will do the same this year. J.J. McCarthy, Sam Darnold. I think it's going to be Darnold. That'll probably start for the entirety of the 2024 season, unless McCarthy hits those benchmarks and assumes a starting role. But that third spot, I believe, will go to Jaren Hall. Now, Nick Mullins, he is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL, in the league, but that presents an interesting situation for the Vikings, who don't have that many draft picks going into the 2025 offseason. So the Vikings could trade Nick Mullins. I think they will. That's the same way he got to Minnesota a couple years back. I believe that was going into 2022 for a late round pick. And, teams are always desperate for quarterback depth. You never know what's going to happen. A lot of teams lost their starters last year as well. Now, Jaren Hall, his future as a starting quarterback in this league, it might be bleak, but that doesn't mean he could be a long-term backup option in this league. At running back, Alexander Madison is gone. Aaron Jones is in. Ty Chandler is your backup. Now, for that third tailback spot, Kenny Nwangwu, he's been a good kick returner. He's had some electric kickoff return touchdowns throughout his career as a Viking, but he hasn't really shown much at running back. And Myles Gaskins, I got right here, he has, I think, 26 rushing yards in the last 2 seasons. Now, DeWayne McBride, he was a 7th-round pick last year. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah actually said that this team had a starting grade on him during the 2023 draft process. Now, Aaron Jones is 30 years old. You're in search for long-term solutions at the positions. I think Chandler's a part of those long-term plans. But I think that's also why, you want to keep McBride over Nwangwu and Gaskins. And we'll see what he does throughout these camps and through preseason. This team is going to keep 4 tight ends, especially with Hawkinson, going to be missing an extended amount of time. Robert Tonyan is going to be completing his NFC North tour. He's played for every NFC North team. For those who don't know that, not wide receiver Justin Jefferson, at least not yet, isn't going anywhere. Neither is Jordan Addison or Brandon Powell, who is, he's going to have to step up into that wide receiver number 3 position, replacing KJ Osborne. So we'll see what he can do there. I wouldn't say that Jalen Naylor and Trent Sherfield are for sure locks, but Naylor, I believe in 2 years, he has 2 years left on his rookie deal. Sherfield, he's been a solid run blocker looking at the PFF statistics of it throughout his career. But I'm excited to see what I believe who's his name, Ty James and Devin Harper. I believe they both went to Mercer. I'm excited to see what those UDFAs can do and how they compete over the summer. Now, the starting 5 along the offensive line is pretty much set. All signs have pointed to Blake Brandel, starting at the left guard spot, joining Darisaw, Ingram, O'Neal, and Bradbury. The Vikings chose not to spend a lot of money or use high draft capital to address that left guard position to replace Dalton Reisner. So, it's Blake Brandel's chance. A 6th-round draft pick in 2020, 6'7", 315 pounds on a 3-year, $9 million deal. If that works out, that is fantastic. If not, it just continues that revolving door for the Vikings at the guard position. Now, among depth, Walter Rouse, you can develop into a nice backup tackle. Him and David Questenberry is already a nice, backup tackle as well. But Michael Juergens, if he could possibly, seems like Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is very high on Michael Juergens, and the 7th-round selection, late-round selection, if he develops into being this team starting center, let's say come week 1, 2025, that's also another steal for this team. So, I like where the direction the offensive line is going. The biggest question mark right now is Blake Brandel truly a starting guard among this O-line? So that is 25 players on offense. Move the defensive side of the ball 25 more. The inside linebacker position, Blake Cashman replacing Jordan Hicks to start alongside Ivan Pace Jr. At the interior defensive line position, not the strongest position group. I was hoping they would get a Christian Wilkins or someone of that caliber in the offseason. Didn't happen. Hopefully it happens, or they use high draft capital this next in 2025, the next off season. But Harrison Phillips, he's currently your best player, and that's not a knock on him. He's a good player, but it's kind of concerning when you say that he's the best player among that group. Now, you would hope in the future that Jacqueline Roy and Levi Drake Rodriguez can develop into some good players. Hopefully Roy can take that step forward. And Drake Rodriguez, he was a dominant player at the FCS level. So, hopefully he can continue that and translate that into the NFL. Now, at the outside linebacker position, that edge position in the 34 defense, who would have thought that you lose Daniil Hunter, but the position group would be stronger heading in 2024. I like the Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel signings. It seems like Grenard's just now getting into his prime as an edge rusher. And Dallas Turner, great player at Alabama. We do know that. And he's in a great situation now where he doesnn't have to be an every down player now. But he can grow into that role. He can learn under Flores. He can learn under Grenard. And the final product could be amazing. Now, for the last two spots, Andre Carter, the second UDFA last year, he probably should have been drafted. You can see what type of step forward he takes. And then also another guy, UDFA, that also should have been drafted. I think I had him in one of my mock drafts. You look at the consensus big boards, you wouldn't have expected him to go undrafted. He's a later round guy. But Gabriel Murphy out of UCLA, I think the biggest thing with him and why he went undrafted was maybe his arm length or something when it comes to edge rushers. I know that is important, but it'd be nice if they have another Ivan Page Jr. or someone along that caliber within their draft class. And, it'd be so great if that player ends up being Murphy. Now, the secondary battle, it's going to be interesting and fun because there's a lot of names, but not enough spots. In the safety room, Harrison Smith is back. This might be the final ride, but, as long as he retires in purple, I think that's what we all want. Josh Metellus and Cam Bynum have really grown into good football players. And, it's kind of unfortunate, but what we're hearing or what you're seeing kind of just on Twitter, formerly known as X and stuff. Lewis Seen, he might be the odd man out in the room. It seems like it's not working out, and it's unfortunate for the former first-round pick. And the same thing in the cornerback room with Andrew Booth Jr. But I think the cornerback room is going to be all right this year. I like Murphy. I like the Shaq Griffin signing. Caleb Evans has been okay. And, Tyree Jackson, Mekhi Blackman, they seem like Brian Flores guys, and Najee Thompson is your special teams ace there. So that's 25 players on defense, 25 on O, and 3 on special teams. Now, I'm putting this on both YouTube and TikTok. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but, if this app, TikTok, is no more in the future, go subscribe to the YouTube. I post everything on there as well. But besides that, Skol Vikes, I'm excited for football to come back, but it's one of those, we're about to get in those months where NBA is about to finish up, and we're just going to have baseball. So we're going to be itching for more and more football, and, can't wait for August and September to come back around.